Hello everyone, it's Yvonne back to do your bonus read. Because of the times, because our clocks went back and nobody else's in the world has changed at this stage, I'm having to get up an hour early. So I've really sort of hit myself on the head here. If you've got readings or coaching booked with me over the next few weeks, especially if you're in the States, we are now we've gone back an hour until you go into your daylight saving phase. And I think while we've gone forward an hour, you will go back an hour. So please, if I need to be reminded that you have time changes, daylight saving or whatever, or if you're living in Queensland, or not in New South Wales, let's say that. I think New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia will have daylight saving. But if you're any of those states, please let me know when you're booking a reading, because there will be a time difference. All right, let's get your bonus reading done. Okay, all right, we have here the Artiste. In this particular deck, this is the Ethereal Visions deck. And in there are a few extra cards, and the Artiste is one of them, and we've been gifted with this first off this morning. So the Artiste is someone who is designing or creating their own life, their own world here. So you're being asked to step into this energy here. You're being asked to understand the world around you and to create the world that you want rather than the world you live in. So beautiful energy coming through. We do have the Empress coming out behind that. So I'm feeling here that by stepping into your ideas of what you want in your world, by opening yourself up to the possibilities, you're stepping into the beautiful energy of the Empress. You're becoming creative, you're birthing new things, you're bringing new things in. So it's like taking ownership for your own life is going to bring you the things that you want. You can create the life you want here. There is a Knight of Cups coming through here. So some sort of offer of love with the Nine of Cups. So we have the Wish card. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, all right, Five of Swords. There's a feeling here that something you're doing, thinking is a certain way. Maybe thinking is a good word for this. It's like you've conditioned yourself to think things have to be a certain way. And this is such an entrenched or ingrained belief that you're living your life. Spirit says you're living a lie. I don't know if that's the harshness of it, but I guess if that's what they're saying. But it's like you're living a life you weren't meant for. You're living a life that is not true to who you are. And because the Artiste is here, you're being asked to create the life you want. So don't be restricted by this idea that life can only be a certain way. Because the Empress, she rebirths something new. She brings forth new things. She has a beautiful ability to open things up. There's some sort of gift here. I don't think this is a gift of love. I think this is love from the universe, but it may be you giving yourself love or offering yourself the love perhaps that you've not received before. So maybe it comes from self-love, because there's a Nine of Cups here which talks about a wish coming in. So by creating the life you should be living, instead of the one that you're currently stuck within, this illusion, then you can create what you want here. But in order to do that, you've got to let go of some sort of belief or some sort of idea that you are stuck where you are. So this is about opening yourself up to the possibilities. Understanding that you are tied, locked or bound to a way of doing things that isn't right or isn't good for you. Actually has a bit of a feeling of the what's cracking read, but I'll keep going with it anyway. All right, so have the Eight of Pentacles. So for some of this may be to do with the way you're working. Maybe you're locked into a career that you are seeing as the only opportunity you have. And the universe is saying, does this control the way you see things? Is this what really makes your heart soar? Is this what you really want to be doing forever? Because something here you've locked yourself into, thinking this is the way it has to be. All right, let's have a bit of a closer look. Okay, so we have the Ten of Swords coming through. So you are getting some repeat cards here. The Devil card. I expected that to come up in the What's Cracking reading. Some of you are bound and tied here and not using your intuition. So what you're doing is you're living your life here, whether that's work, play, or whatever you're doing here. You are bound to this through your old beliefs or your set of conditioning. What you're doing is you're seeing your world logically. The Ten of Swords tells me, though, that this is you're about to see through this. Because we have the High Priestess here, which says that you are tuning into your intuition. You're starting to understand that what you are bound to is not permanent. That's why I think they're talking about control. Because you're trying to control your life to move in a certain direction. And if you push against what you're meant to have, then trying to control it will only bring, more heartache, more pain, and will stop you moving forward, will stop you picking up what you're entitled to. This codependent energy. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune coming through here, followed by the Six of Cups. It's childhood conditioning here, big time. Okay, and then we have the Seven of Cups. This is an illusion. Again, very similar energy to the What's Cracking reading. So whoever I'm speaking to out there, you have conditioned yourself to live the life you thought you had. So if you always thought you were going to be poor, you were never going to make it, you were never going to be successful, you were never going to be rich, never have the love you want. If you have conditioned yourself to that, that is the life you're taking on. Because your thinking is so bound to the outcomes of that you're not realizing that you are so much more than your thinking. You are here, tuning into the intuition and understanding that. But there's a great feeling here. Queen of Wands coming through, freeing yourself up, moving forward here. Okay, we have the Knight of Pentacles coming through. So for some of you, this is about understanding that through your childhood conditioning, something has created this illusion for you here. You're wearing a mask. You're wearing this mask because it's safe for you to hide behind what you think your world should look like. But the Wheel of Fortune is here, and with the Devil card, I'm feeling that somehow or another the universe is giving you a shift, is moving you forward. This life you're currently living is not bringing you the rewards that you seek. But you're conditioned to believe it is the only way. There is something very, I'm feeling like a multi-dimensional feel here. It's almost like you are meant to be living in another life, but you're settling for something, thinking it's the only way. It's like you're trapped in a small space between worlds. You're trapped in a small space between worlds. And it's like you're almost seeing both sides. You're on the fence here. So I feel like this energy here of the High Priestess is trying to cut through. But you're sitting in between the two worlds here, between what you know deep within you and what you have been taught. You're sitting on the fence line here, trying to see. You're feeling it. It's calling to you. And you're trying to move away from this mask, this being bound, this being driven. acceptance of what is. This is very much about your childhood and your parenting. You know, very often parents keep their children locked into shame and guilt through their own personal issues. Parents role model behaviours. They show us how things should be done. And some parents are unable to show love and teach their children how to be loved when their children are perfect beings. So they grow up being skewed or not realizing the magic of life, being trapped within that wall between the logic and the spiritual. Something is coming in here to move you along, to give you another perspective. But I feel very strongly it's you seeing through some sort of illusion here. I feel this is very, very similar to the What's Cracking reading. Somehow or another we've got locked into a way of doing things or being. It's some sort of lesson that comes from, it's sort of like some sort of lesson that we needed to learn to free ourselves from the Matrix. It's the lesson you need to understand to free yourself from the Matrix. If you haven't seen the Matrix movies, you're not going to understand. But you need to unplug yourself from the world that you think exists to live in the world you are meant to be in. Okay, this card says you are a living work of art, a most sacred and eternal being, a multi-dimensional, far out field of energy with no beginning or end. You are a floating island of consciousness, swimming within a cosmic sea of love. Live the dream, dare to be extraordinary or extraordinary. I'm blown out by the multi-dimensional word here because that's how it feels to me, like you're stuck in the in-between. You're stuck in the in-between world. You're not quite in the new world and you're not quite leaving the old world. You know it exists, you know it needs to change, but you're stuck there. You're stuck behind this illusion. But something is freeing you up here because you're about to close out some sort of cycle. This will be very interesting here because I feel like this is very astrological. So I know somebody will help me see through that here. There is something here that you are learning karmically that you need to free yourself from. And it's this being bound to what is rather than what could be. It's going to light a fire in the pit of your belly again. It's going to show you how great you can be. But you just got to let go of these shackles here. I'll leave it with that. Thanks.